You are small again, tucked in the corner of a room that feels too big for you. The floor creaks beneath invisible footsteps that seem to measure your worth. You press yourself against the wall, hoping no one notices, hoping your very being doesn't ripple the air. There is a hollow in your chest, a quiet echo that whispers, "I am a mistake." Even now, years later, when the world says otherwise, you feel the same weight, the lingering verdict that once labeled you as unwanted. And you ask yourself, not for the first time, was I ever enough? Or worse, am I still too much? What if the ache you feel, the gnawing sense of being a burden, isn't proof of your flaws, but a relic of survival? The hated child doesn't emerge from weakness. It is born from emotional rejection, neglect, or outright hostility in the earliest mirrors of life. Someone's inability to hold you tenderly. Someone's refusal to witness your existence. Etched a pattern deep within your nervous system. The world may have told you, subtly or violently, that your presence was a problem. Maybe a sigh, a glance of impatience, a hushed "not now" became an internalized mantra. Over time, you learned to shrink, to disappear, not because you were inherently unlovable, but because disappearing was the only way to survive the storm of someone else's rejection. This is not your shame. It is your adaptation. Survival often leaves a scar that masquerades as a deficiency. And yet, you have carried it as if it were proof of who you are, not what happened to you. The hated, unwanted child lives in the shadow of early relational trauma, a shadow that manifests in self-erasure and hypervigilance. Archetypally, you are the child left at the edge of the fire, the one whose very breath seemed to irritate the adults meant to love them. The inner child whispers constantly, "I must not disturb. I must not take up space." In Jungian terms, this is the wounding of the self, fractured by the projection of others' unprocessed fears and rejection onto you, your persona. The mask you learned to wear was a careful camouflage, small, quiet, good, compliant. It was a clay vessel molded by survival, not by choice. Your amygdala, wired to anticipate rejection, still triggers its subtle cues. A raised eyebrow, a delayed reply, silence that echoes like accusation. Neuroplasticity assures us this wiring is not permanent, but the pattern must first be acknowledged, traced back, held in the light of conscious awareness. You are not broken. You are encoded with memories of having been seen as wrong, as burdensome, as unworthy. And these memories have shaped the lens through which you still see yourself. But hiding comes at a cost. The child who never claimed space grows into an adult who avoids intimacy, who fears assertion, who numbs the body and soul to avoid perceived danger. The cost is loneliness, self-abandonment, and the quiet erosion of joy. You may think you protect yourself by staying small, but in truth, the world loses your unique pulse when you do. Confrontation is not about anger at the past. It is about grieving it. The truth is painful. The rejection you endured was real, and its echoes linger. This grief is a necessary crossing. Only by naming the hurt, feeling it fully, and witnessing the scared, unwanted child within can you begin to disentangle the truth from the internalized blame. Truth often feels like grief because it is grief. It is mourning the life you were denied, the tenderness that never arrived, the acceptance that was withheld. You are allowed to exist fully, despite what was once said or implied. Rewiring begins with recognition, not performance. Start small. Notice your body, your heartbeat, the places where fear of taking space still lingers. Speak gently to the inner child. You are not a burden. You are here, and that is enough. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, not punishment. Tenderness toward yourself is a reclamation of presence. Integration is not about fixing. It is about witnessing. The hated, unwanted child within you must be seen, heard, and held without conditions. Only then can the mask dissolve, and the fractured pieces of self return to a wholeness that does not depend on anyone's approval. Begin today by simply acknowledging your existence. Light a candle. Write a letter to your younger self. Breathe into the hollow spaces and sit with what rises. In these small, conscious acts, you anchor the child you once were and begin to dismantle the old, inherited belief that you were ever a burden. Your truth is your inheritance. Your survival is your strength. And in choosing to see yourself fully, you are not only reclaiming your story, you are giving yourself the love that was once withheld.